We need to get your drink, honey, because this is tea. I do not condone violence. I do not believe in violence. I do not believe that violence is necessary. In this one instance, I had no other option but to get into a fight. I had no, like, this person gave me no literal option, you guys. Like, you can't stand there and be like, oh my God, I don't fight. Like, no, you gonna have, like, regardless of how you feel about fighting, you gonna have to fight because it's either that or take your L. And that day, I wanted to make it clear to all the kids in my neighborhood that I was not the one. And I proved it. So yeah, we lived in a little cul-de-sac, and you know, it was a bunch of neighborhood kids in it, and basically the way it kind of worked was Will was the friend that we all kind of got along with. Like, out of everybody in the cul-de-sac, everybody got along with Will. Regardless of if you were cool with him and his siblings or not, you all kind of, like, they were just cool enough to the point where there was never really an issue that they had with anyone on the block. So basically, we went up there to play football, and there was the teams got split up. It was me, my older brother, and my little brother, and then it was Will, a guy named Curly, a little boy named Jabbar. So we all kind of decided we're gonna play football, and I guess they saw how prissy I was, because even back then I kind of had that girly kind of attitude that I have now. If you know me, you know that I'm pretty like, oh, I don't like dirt, I don't like, you know. So I guess they assumed by that personality that meant I did not know how to throw down, but boy were they wrong. So the game gets underway, and I am the person who's tackling. So while my younger brother runs, and my older brother is the quarterback. So I'm tackling, like, I'm taking Curly down. I'm taking this Curly kid in particular down. Like, I'm like, you know, like, I am really going hard to win this game because I'm very competitive and I like to win. And if I'm gonna fight to do something, I'm gonna fight to win it. Excuse my nips, y'all. But yeah, I'm gonna fight to win it. So when it came to doing this with Curly, I felt like, come here, little boy, I'm gonna tackle you. So we're kind of getting through the game, and I can kind of tell that things were getting a little tense between everybody. And Will begins to instigate. He's like, oh, they talked about your mom. Get mad, get mad. You know, that's like a football tactic that coaches use to try to hype up their players, like, to aggressively play against the other kids. Like, they're trying to tell them, like, oh, they're talking about your mom or something. Like, something that, you know, will really make a kid upset. Which I don't know why you want to do that, because it's like, why do you want to upset this kid? Like, I don't get it. But Curly fell for a hook, line, and sinker, and him and Jabbar kind of got upset, and so they started playing a little bit more aggressive. And my whole thing was, why are you tackling me so hard? Like, I was not knocking you over. Like, I mean, I could have tackled him a lot harder than I was. So I was looking like, okay, if that's the game we're gonna play, then I'm gonna tackle you hard. So the next time I got the chance to tackle him, I said, like, I tried to knock that boy's soul out of him. So I'm like, okay, you're tackling me a little hard. You're really going extra hard. I thought this was a game. I thought this was just playful fun. So me and Curly, so he stand up from the tackle, and Curly is like, you know, me, back then, I did not care. You wanted to fight, we could fight. So I was like, so me and Curly started going back and forth, and Will was like, well, the next time he broke up Curly, you hit him. Eventually, we were playing the game a little bit more. He's tackling me a little bit harder, so I'm trying to tackle him just as hard. So I'm like, okay, you want to play those games? You want to play the who can tackle who hard game? We can go. We can see who's gonna win. So he tackled me, and I'm like, bruh, what are you doing? Like, why are you tackling me so hard? So, you know, we traded words again. So we set up the next play. So by this point, me and my team, we're destroying them. Like, we destroyed them to the point where there's no coming back. So, you know, we were kind of laughing at the whole situation, because we're like, y'all can't even beat us. Like, y'all can't beat us. So we run the next play, and I tackle Curly. And so we're standing up after all this is taking place, and we're kind of getting a little argument, but then all I heard Will say was, swing, Curly, chow, chow, chow. Girl, if I tell you, Curly made the biggest mistake of his life when he decided he was gonna raise his fist to my beautiful, gorgeous, caramel skin face. And I mean, he decked me straight in the jaw. Like, he aimed perfectly, because it was like it connected. And I've never been hit in my face first. Now, I'm not gonna deny being potentially hit in my face because I had fought my siblings prior to this encounter with Curly. So this was not technically my first fight, but he like purposefully decked me straight in my dome, and I lost it. Like, all I remember is I followed up after he decked me. I followed up with the ba ba ba. I just came with hands, like I just came like ba da da da. Like he didn't have time he had to come quick because I was my strategy was run up. Like you gotta run up on them and you gotta be like do. Like you gotta come with straight just hands. You can't stop, you can't try to analyze what's going on. You just come straight with the hands and you start swinging and land as many as you can in the area in which you swing it. I have naturally bad aiming, but in this one instance, I was so pissed that my aim became 20/20. I felt like LeBron James. No way, LeBron James can't really shoot. I felt like Steph Curry because every shot I was making at Curly's face was going straight in, and I was going hard. I was like do. Like I was just ooh. I've never been so enraged like that before in my life. Well, I ain't gonna say that, but I'm gonna say that was one time where I was pissed. Do you understand me? I was so mad that he hit me in my face. Like, so at that point there was nothing I could do but just swing. Now, don't follow my philosophy because I don't know why, but for some odd reason I was so mad that I closed my eyes. Like all I saw was red. I blacked out. I didn't remember how the rest of that fight played out. Minus me running up on him like do with the hands. So by the time I opened my eyes, I'm on top of Kurt. I'm like, dude. I'm just like, dude. Like, I'm like throwing my fist straight into his face. Like, I was just like, gosh. Like, I was trying to deck the soul out of that little boy because I was like, how dare you think you gonna punch me in my face? Like, and I feel like he did it. I feel like he did it because he thought I wasn't gonna swing back. He thought he was gonna knock me out real quick and he was gonna earn his little respect. But no, boo, you messed up. You should have tried somebody else out there that day because you sure got your little drinks popped. So I'm on top of him. I'm like douche. So all I remember is Will was behind me and Will was like trying to pull me away because I wasn't gonna stop. I was trying to obliterate him because he hit me in my face. So I'm still swinging and like I felt like, you know when you feel somebody grab your hand, like that's how Will was like trying to grab my hand in my waist, but I was refused. So as Will is pulling me away, I'm trying to swing with this and I'm like so Kurt was like kicking his feet at me, so I'm kicking my foot back at him. They pulled me off and I'm like in the grass, and my little brother made sure that Curly didn't get to hit me while Will was holding me. And I stood up like, yeah, what's good? You want it again? Because you know, you won the fight, you know, like when you win the fight, you are a little bit more hyper than you was going in, because now you got that confidence boost, like, yeah, you thought you wanted it. You thought you wanted these little hands. So I'm like, yeah, that's why your lip bleed, because his lip was bleeding, and I had never made nobody bleed before. Like in all the fights that I had gotten into up until that point, nobody had ever bled. So, and I know this sounds real violent, y'all. Like I know as I tell this story, y'all whole opinion of me is different. Like y'all didn't think that I was like about it, but in that moment, because I was a child, and you know, I was raised that when you fight till you see blood, that's how you know you cleaned house. So I'm like, yeah, that's why you bleeding, like talking crazy, talking reckless. And Will was like, bruh, I did not know your little brother had hands like that. You know, Will gave me my props because he did not think that was gonna come out of me, and he really thought Curly was gonna rock my world. So after we done been separated and I didn't talk my trash, cause you know, as a winner, that's your right. You get bragging rights because you can say that you popped the soul out of whoever it is you fought. So then, you know, Curly's like crying, he like leaves, and I felt vindicated because up until that point, like, cause going into the fight, like, well, after he hit me, I knew I had to fight him. Like, I knew I didn't have much of an option at that point. It was either fight the kid or lose my self-respect or lose the respect that I have in this neighborhood. And I wasn't gonna let that happen because I was shallow. So I had to come with the hand for Curly. But even as I was walking up to deck him, because I was gonna deck him, that was happening. That part I had already, you know, confirmed in my mind had to take place. But as I did it, I was wondering, like, what if he just beats the crap out of me right here? Like, what if that happened? Like, I'm scary. I don't like fighting, so I was kind of scared that he was gonna cold clock me and like drop me. But luckily for me, I came out the victor. I threw them hands when they needed to be thrown, and Curly got embarrassed because he thought that I was a weakling, and he thought that he could pick on me, and he thought that he could just beat me up really quickly, and I definitely showed him that I was not that person. So Curly left. He left home crying, you know, of course, because at that point there was nothing to be done. And later on that day, he tried to steal my little brother's bike, but then, you know, I came outside and he just like ran off. But I'm in no way condoning violence, guys, but he hit me first. I had no real other option. I mean, he hit me first, and I knew that he was trying to fight me. Like, I knew that there was no talking this out, because at that point he had already punched me in my face, and I felt like at that point it was time to throw my deuces up and go for it. And I did it. I did it with a little bit of fear, but I did it fearlessly, because I felt like, okay, if I get beat up, that's alright. But because there wasn't that many people out there, but at the same time I was kind of nervous. I'm like, Will is gonna let the world know I got knocked out. And I came at him with the hands. So I just came at him with the like do. And from that point forward, Will always respected me. He always warned neighborhood kids that wanted to try me that I wasn't to be tried, because I was gonna put them in their place, and I was gonna make it clear that don't let the hair and the makeup and all the like girliness things that are about me fool you, because you can get popped. But I'm in a different place now. I'm a lot older. I stopped getting into fights around. I stopped getting into arguments altogether once I got to high school. But in middle school, I never got into a physical fight. I got into a lot of big verbal arguments. And yeah, so in middle school, I kind of just got into a lot of arguments. And then in high school, I was the cool girl. I was the cool, chill girl who everyone got along with. And trust me, my gender identity or nothing played a role in my acceptance at the school. I was actually one of the more popular people. So I think that back then it was just that I think that just back then I was so timid and shy. People instantly saw that as weakness, and they thought like, oh, because I would let disrespect slide back then. But I think once I proved that I was not one to be disrespected and like let it slide, all my problems went away. So guys, that is it for story time today. You guys can choose what story time you want me to do next. I'm thinking it's a toss-up between the time I threatened to shoot another student. Oh my god, that was a beef to live for. The time I got into a fight on the bus, because that was another instance where I had to knock a hoe out. And 3, the time that I was straight, because there was a period of time in middle school where I pretended to be a straight heterosexual male, and I cringe at reliving it, but I do not mind reliving it for the purpose of story time, because it's like a watch I've been reliving. So until next time, guys, like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye.